What's up, team? Welcome back to another video. It is circling online that the leaders of the British military have had enough, that they have wrote a letter to Starmer, which we'll cover later on, and that there is a possibility of a military coup. Is it going to happen? What's your thoughts on it? Do comment below. But before we get started, massive shout out to all of you. Thank you if you viewed, subscribed and shared my videos, and a massive shout out to all of the channel members. What is a military coup then? This is when the military seize control of the government. This is when an armed forces seize control of a country's government, either by use of force or by the threat of using lethal force. It normally happens suddenly, without warning, without legal processes and without going through the democratic process. It usually means that the military will remove the current leaders, suspend the constitution, and they will take power directly. They will do this to say that they are claiming to restore order, fight corruption, or protect national security. Most military coups go unsuccessful, and more recently there hasn't been many coups that have taken place or even been successful. It happened largely between the 1960s and quite a few between the 70s and 80s. So there has apparently been a letter written from 9 4-star generals from the British military, okay? The highest rank you can be in the British military without sort of hitting Field Marshal. They've come together, they have wrote this letter to say they are not happy about the state of the country, the state of our armed forces, and the way our veterans have been treated. And one line that has apparently been said is that our soldiers no longer just have to look at the enemy and fight the enemy in front of them. They have to watch their back with the lawyers behind them. And it's so true. But before we go on, do you think a military coup could happen? Do you think it should happen? But so many of our veterans are being prosecuted or being put on trial for situations that happened at war a long time ago. Obviously the most recent one that the majority of people you know about is Soldier F from the Troubles, Northern Ireland, Bloody Sunday. Even after the Good Friday Agreement, even after all of the members of the IRA were basically released from prison, you know, slate was wiped clean. No more, we can't prosecute you. But now they want to prosecute the soldiers, the veterans from back in the day, even after they've been on trial before. Then you've got SAS operator J. Cow and the 4 other guys from Hereford, who some of them were arrested while they're out on ops, conducting special forces, special operations missions for the possible murder of civilians, children, families, whatever the details are of that. These are guys that are putting their lives on the line daily, doing what the majority of people can't do, having to make those split-second life-changing decisions while under extreme pressure, while in gunfights, while they've got possible explosions, IEDs, mortar, artillery, whatever it is going off around them. Very, very rare is a soldier committing a crime or basically killing someone unlawfully on operation. It doesn't happen. They are so strict with the rules of engagement. So the fact that they are constantly going after our veterans. Brian Woods, MC, is another one. Back in the early 2000s for what happened in Iraq. Him and his team put on trial for what they conducted while on operations. So then we come to the present day, the current state of our armed forces, the current state of our country, the current state of our government. Is there a chance it's going to be a military coup? Is there even a chance that this letter was written? I don't know. I've not seen the letter. I'm saying alleged. Apparently this letter was alleged. Do I think though that 4-star generals could write to the Prime Minister? Yes, I do. Do we ever know what's going to be in there? No, it's never going to be released. But I do think that in the position that they are, they could and that they should be speaking to the Prime Minister about the current state of our country, the national security of our British citizens, the state of our armed forces, and the fact that this current government is constantly supporting the opposition and going after our veterans. Is a military coup likely? No, I do not think it is. Just The way the UK is now, the way the UK Armed Forces is, it's very, very unlikely that it could happen. But could it happen? Cool, there's always a small chance of anything happening. But the chances of this are extremely slim. Also, the fact a lot of high-ranking officers, even lower rank officers, come from wealthy families that have connections within the government, the royal family, are children. So you have a lot of sons from sort of dukes that will join, and they have to join to sort of get their inheritance and follow the family tradition on of doing a few years in the military, maybe longer, and then going over to sort of serving as a duke or joining the family business. You've got all that goes on now, and they're all connected at the top. So the chances of it actually happening, our military is so small as well. Normally it is a small group that would overthrow the government, but our armed forces are extremely small. Even the majority of serving personnel now, it's such a mixed bag of beliefs, ideology, left, right, neutral. The majority of them wouldn't go ahead with it anyway. It's very unlikely, but there is rumours that it's going around. What I do believe though is a letter could have and possibly has been written. Maybe they are quite blunt in it. Leave our soldiers alone. Start dealing with national security. Could they start pushing back now? Possibly. Start increasing our funding. Stop prosecuting our soldiers. Stop taking our kit away. Stop sending our ammunition away. You know, and let's concentrate on our soldiers, our boys and girls, and our national security. Yes, I think they could, because the current state of the armed forces and the current state of the government is absolutely dire. It is. We are in such a bad way. So I don't think the military are planning to overthrow the government, but I do think they are possibly starting to push back and starting to get fed up of our veterans constantly being put on trial, and it's happened time and time again, and they've been proven wrong again. Our soldiers very, very rarely commit an unlawful killing. Could it happen? Yes. Has it happened? Yeah, more than likely. But the majority of time, it's for some reason our government don't like our armed forces, and solicitors basically just see a war's gone on, there's victims, we can make money out of it. How can we make money? Right, let's go and speak to all the families and then basically get a bit of information out of them and then feed their brains with, look, we can get you compensation, we can get you this because, you know, this may have happened, you know, they could have done this. And that's all it is, solicitors trying to get money. Why our government constantly want to sort of support the opposition and throw our armed forces under the bus, I do not know. Why would you want to be part of the current government but hate the armed forces? The guys that alongside the security services deal with our national security, protect British citizens, domestic and overseas. It's mind-boggling, the world we live in. You should be proud to sort of want to protect the armed forces. What can we do for the armed forces? What can we give them? Not what can we take away from them. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Please do comment below. Once again, thanks for watching. See you soon.